It's a great place here. And Kevin, the owner, used to come and see the old band, Arabaras, back in the 90s and 80s and all that. And a place called Ruby Tuesdays. He's a nice guy. I'm glad he has it here.
I didn't realize he went back to as far as the Ruby Tuesday days. Yeah, that was
you
the first
too.
That's right, the first stage I ever played on in Columbus, 94.
Oh, you did? Yeah. All right.
Welcome to Dead of Summer
yeah.
Mother Stewart's. I understand is it your first show in Springfield in maybe
Oh my God,
20 years?
Since the 90s at least. You know, I mean, we haven't been, the JiMiller band hasn't been here.
First JiMiller band performance in Springfield. What a fantastic occasion for it to celebrate Jerry's birthday.
I would agree.
We've known each other since the 90s, and it just had so much respect for everything you do, is from a songwriting, guitarist, singer, songwriter perspective over the years, and as a person as well.
Well, the same right back at you. So we're going to get this guy to play with us.
Thank you.
Tell us what you'd like to do, though. What we should do is get
that.
Nev off the. Well, that's later on. That's an encore. Whatever.
I'm flexible. Whatever.
We'll find something.
I'll fix it.
I have to ask him first, though. I can't.
Sure, especially since he only has the one keyboard.
Protocol, man.
He only has the one keyboard, and not quite enough.
That is a great keyboard.
I love the Nords.
You know, Nords. I
love the Nords.
Great. The guy I did the album with that I just finished, Jim Weinfurt, he has a Nord too, and it's just amazing sound.
I find best of both worlds from the piano, electric piano, and Hammond organ, really solid piano and Hammond organ.
Do you still carry the Hammond around?
No, it's resting in my living room.
No Hammond organ allowed.
And I've got a portable XD2 that needs a little work. I really appreciate you taking the time for this interview with the OhioJams Network and Music Magazine. I'd like to just quickly tell us about your first performances growing up in Cleveland. When you first started playing music.
Got a couple days.
Well, you're a British person.
Well, I played. I was at University of Notre Dame. I went to school there. I majored in LSD. I didn't quite make it out of there, but I did end up graduating from Cleveland State, a design major called spirituality. I wanted to get a job at the spirituality shop. There's plenty around. Anyway, so but at Notre Dame we did this little gig. Actually, I have pictures of it, and I have a big block of sweat on me. I look a little younger. 1974, January 74. So that was I consider that my first professional gig because I got paid. And then
I'm sorry, what band would that have been?
Well, it was a bunch of guys from Notre Dame. One of them I still am in touch with. I call him Obert. His name is Bert Giesman. Bert, if you're seeing this, he's a great. We're still in touch. Isn't that great, huh?
Nice.
And
nice.
we really got along extremely well. And I called him Obert. I still call him Obert. Everything's a cartoon to me, pretty much.
Well, especially with the lysergic.
I don't partake anymore. Hey, whoever wants, as long as you don't hurt anybody.
But the Grateful Dead, you mentioned earlier that you started seeing the Grateful Dead in the 1970s as well. You were there at Red Rocks.
74 was my first sojourn into that. They were in Chicago at the big auditorium, and they played the entire Weather Report suite. They did Sea Stones. They did almost all of Wake of the Flood. It was a really good. I thought it was a great show. What I remember, anyway.
Is that when you first started incorporating their material into your own?
I was writing before that. I had in high school went to a Catholic boys' school called Cathedral Latin. There's half Irish guys and half Italian, and I'm not Italian, so that shows you where I'm at. Robert Hunter was Irish too. We talked at great length about that. And I was in Ireland when he passed, but that was later on. And I was lucky enough to open for him twice. It was in one day. I bought him dinner. That's when we had a chat.
Fantastic.
Listen, it was a holy moment. It really was.
Very nice.
And he's totally into the same stuff as I, like the Irish writers, James Joyce. Carl Jung and Swiss psychologist and blah blah blah. But
stories. He inspired your own songwriting as well.
But really, Beatles really inspired me. My mom was into the Beatles. She said, "Come upstairs." I was 10 years old. I went up there and I see him on TV, and I'm like, "What? I want to do that." And I just followed my heart. Hopefully got it. But my first gigs, my first real band was a band called Chester Motel.
Okay.
And that was a whorehouse down around Latin. It was on Chester Street in Cleveland. And we got a gig at the place called the Flip Side. Now that's where later on, this is 75, later on in 1980, Roberts started playing there. It was in Cleveland Heights.
1980, that's
Yeah,
when
it
Robert
was in
started.
Cleveland Heights, yeah. And then, well, going back to 75, that band actually, we took over the James Gang spot in Kent.
Okay.
We played at JB's Up.
Yes, Richard.
And that's when they went out west and they had a hit. They had Funk 49 and all that.
Absolutely.
And I met him. He's a nice guy.
Joe,
I met him.
yeah.
You know, I just been in the right places at the right time. That's all. But so then, you know, we traveled out west, 76, and that's where we tried to start a Roberts again, and we couldn't do it. Just too much of this.
It took a few years to get it off the ground.
Yeah, well, we didn't really. What happened was I played a lot at that. Learned a lot. I played on the streets. I did a lot of busking over that 2 summers because I would hitchhike with this young woman I was with, and we'd go to these little places. Yeah, like one was a Snake River Tavern. It was in Idaho. It was beautiful, and you know, we would play for meals and tips and all that stuff. And I did it on the old downtown area of Boulder. At that time, it was pretty much a cowboy town, a hippie town, cowboy town.
Sure thing.
And then anyway, blah blah blah. Come to 1980, I moved out to. I have stories in between, but we don't have time, and so so I moved out to Bellingham, Washington, and I played in a hippie band there. And I was a studio musician for lots of people, whoever came in.
Okay, impressive. Who is the favorite that you played with around that time?
Well, and at that time it was just normal humans,
Okay,
normal
sure,
humans,
Sure.
whatever. No, you know what I mean. It was just normal musicians.
Sure.
And then my sister was getting married, and the guys were starting the band. And I told you the story today about Mark Radner. I met him on the street, and I told him, I went to Red Rocks, and I sat with Owsley. I had no idea.
The guy said his name was Bear. Like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. I called him the Snarf because he was after this woman that we were with. Anyway, but Radish ended up being our sound man in the Roberts. I mean, you know, synchronicity. You know, I mean, there's no accidents in life. Yeah, right. Small world is it. Yeah. Well, anyway, the band started '80, and we started at the Flip Side, and then we moved to the Euclid Tavern, and then the rest is sort of history. But the JiMiller band, that was JiMiller band, that was in '98. I broke up the old band, because I just wanted to do well. The members of the band didn't really want to do this, what I do still.
As far as the original,
the Dead stuff. Yeah,
sure.
So we have places where we play the originals and other covers.
Customize it depending on what the
we do lots of, as you know, we do a lot of Dead shit stuff. You know, but then talk about something that happened right at the beginning of that. I started doing this party. It's called Lazy Daisy, and it was in Lake County, and actually it was across from a Native American mountain. I'm into that. I'm into Native American stuff quite a bit. And
important part of Ohio's history.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, we're right here. There's a mound down the street. Yeah, in Enon. Yeah. We used to stay here, and I go out to the fields and get permission to surface hunt for the arrowheads and all that. But you can't do it anymore because they have the farming methods, the no-till. You can't find anything. But anyway, so after when JiMiller Band started, I played this party for like 2 years. And then the guy stopped having it, and I thought, well, why don't I just take it to Nelson's Ledges? And that's where we started about 19, was it 99? No, it was about 2001.
Okay, fantastic. Right around the times of the early Grateful Fest, and really when Nelson Ledges really started.
We were on the Further
catching
Fest.
Steam.
Roberts was on the Further Fest, but that was earlier, 94.
And the Horde? And the Horde
Horde
Festival
tour, that was a big, that was really was wild. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe it.
So
because they all showed up and they used our equipment. And I called the manager of John Popper's band,
Blues Traveler.
Sure. And he said, "Yeah, let's do that. We'll get the guys to come."
So I'm sorry. This is the famous Shooters when
Shooters.
Rob Rose was playing the night before or after the Horde performance.
No, the night before.
The night before at Blossom.
Right.
You were on the
we
bill.
were on a little bit of that leg of that journey, and we played on the main stage. But back it up to Wednesday. It was a Wednesday night. The Horde started on Thursday, and they all showed up.
Greg Allman.
All
John Popper. I believe Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow was there. Yeah.
Other Allman brothers members.
No, the whole crew except for Dickie Betts.
No kidding.
Dickie was trying to get straight.
Legendary.
I know all about that.
You're a Rob Rose gig at Shooters, a beautiful waterfront venue on the west side of the Flats. Then all of a sudden, you're on stage with Greg Allman and John Popper and Sheryl. What an amazing experience for them. And for them
like I said before,
consider you of the caliber, which you certainly are.
Thanks, man.
Playing on stage.
I just was in the right place at the right time. That's all. I mean, really, we were the first band in the Midwest to be doing any of the Dead. They called it jam band.
It's well earned. I think you were the torchbearers in Cleveland of the Grateful Dead scene contemporary at the same time as they were performing.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally, like
we
my
were
first
on the
Grateful
road
Dead show
we
at Richfield. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. We were in Colorado at the snow day. I went to the one that Bruce Hornsby showed up at.
Well, I remember. Okay, yes.
Remember it had a snowstorm?
Yes, 1993, March 14th was my first ever Grateful Dead show.
That was your first?
It was my first show. The blizzard
snowed out.
The night before it snowed out. Afterwards, everyone was trying to figure out what do we do after. Hey, Holiday Inn. There's Rob Rose playing, and there we go to the Holiday Inn.
That was the year after. Yeah, that was the year after.
The year after? I thought you guys played after the blizzard.
Together.
At Holiday Inn.
What the fuck?
At Holiday Inn. Amazing. You also got a chance to open for Fish at Peabody's Down Under.
Yeah, that was when they first came to town, and they're really nice guys. And it turned out their Languedoc, their sound guy. I was looking at Trey's guitar. He had a dog, a poison-ate dog on the headstock. I said, "That's cool, man. Let me see that." And I gave him my electric because I had acoustic clay.
Sure, kind of like a hold your.
But I just had to have a guitar in case I had a string break.
Languedoc, or maybe before he had this custom Languedoc guitar.
What happened was that Trey was playing. It's called a time guitar. It was made in Burlington, and I was playing Trey's guitar. And Languedoc walked in and did a double take, and he came up and I designed that guitar. And I still have it. I still have the time.
No kidding.
But there's more stories to that one too. But yeah. Lazy Daisy's coming up this week, next week.
Right.
Is it the 7th and 8th?
The 7th and 8th. That's right.
I don't have my phone. I don't have my
Legends.
phone with me, but
That's correct.
I know
Friday and Saturday.
I hope you have a list.
Well, I know you have.
I know my son's playing. He's playing it right before it's Five and Direct. And then he's sitting in with us. Michael's a monster. He plays with the Quasi Kings now.
Oh, he plays with the Quasi Kings?
Oh, yeah.
Today I learned we really enjoyed the Quasi Kings at the Stargazer and Music Fest.
Oh, yeah, that's Michael. Probably.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Looks like
to
we're
know.
starting. But anyway, what is the date? What's the date on it?
Well, it is definitely the 7th and 8th next weekend at Nelson Ledges.
Thank you.
Quarry Park.
Somebody knows what he's doing.
It's been, that's a fantastic fest. It's not only does it have the vibe of you and the Grateful Dead, but then it also has that very family-friendly kind of.
Yeah, we always give do you have the line? Is the lineup up there?
Sure.
Here, click the little thingy up there. And
Tony
Kochev is my promo guy.
Tony's wonderful.
15
Shout out
years,
to Tony.
Man. Thank God for Tony.
And everyone in your band. What a fan!
You know the creek I'd be up. I think there's one here in town. I don't know.
So we have on the bill on Friday, you have Cody Pounds and then the Joe Marcinek Band. He's a great guitarist.
They're good,
Saturday you've got Double D, possibly a solo, doing some solo stuff.
Yeah, that's a friend of ours, yeah.
Nice. Leia Mara and the River
she's
Boys.
good. I like them. I sat in with them 2 years ago.
Oh, excellent. And hey, how nice it is when you're
This
hosting
guy
your own
was here.
festival.
He was here last year and I missed his show.
Oh, well, we had so much fun.
Well,
but my
good.
favorite Lazy Daisy was at the time with Terrapin Moon, but you and Brian sat in for the set. We had a member who wasn't there, and we got to kind of collaborate together.
That was good, yeah.
Many years ago. There's also Grav and Vibe.
Grav is back. They were a great group that sort of broke up, but now they're back together. Well, that means I got to play.
That's your cue.
All right, well,
thank you,
peace,
Jim,
folks,
for this interview with OhioJams Network and Music Magazine.
Give this guy all the kudos you possibly can.
Your new album will be reviewed, and I really look forward to hearing your new album with the members of the JiMiller Band and the.
It's called Music I Didn't Know I Knew.
Music I Didn't Know I Knew. We cannot wait to hear it.
And the band is called Sojura.
Sojura?
Yeah. And then Brian and our keyboard player's in that band too.
Wonderful.
It'll be December 12th at the Winchester, our home base. The band.
That's the album release?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So these guys are like.